Ocean on the Rocks, coming back to you guys with another one. Recognizing the Game, episode 44. Black Flag. Ya tu sabes. You know what it is. So this is semen retention and the authentic self part 2. And one of the things that I noticed is the growth of my nails and hair during semen retention. And I've always had long hair, but as well as the glowing of the skin, which is an illumination of the energy. I know that I talked about the glow and not being so caught up in that, but where does the glow come from? It comes from the spirit body, the emotional body, the energetic body, which is connected to the soul. On my Instagram, I had posted a quote from the movie Apocalypto, and in that particular scene, the father is talking to the son, and he says, "Son, you are afraid of death because you are not in alignment with yourself." He said, "Don't be afraid. The body is mortal, but the soul is free and everlasting." I know I brought up in the last video a conversation with a friend of mine, and he was telling me of his recent relationship experience and going back and forth with the girl that he was interested in. So I was telling him about our mutual friend and how when he went through his breakup, how he was doing all of these things to try to get his girl back, but wasn't understanding what nature was trying to reveal to him. And so one of the biggest things is authenticity and being who you are, but that requires a level of wisdom and knowledge, as well as being aware of experiences and what they represent, and the knowledge that you can gain from them in terms of understanding yourself. A common thing when breakups happen and we find ourselves doing the most to try to get that person to take us back, but there's a lot of underlying problems that can be revealed just in terms of what you're doing and how it's problematic and how it's going to create a negative relationship with yourself, because the frame of mind that you are thinking from is one that is dwelling in a place of lack, scarcity, and abandonment. The understanding of yourself is being dictated by another person or your relationship to that person. And in that, you are letting them define who you are. You're letting the situation define who you are. Essentially, you are losing yourself to that person. You're giving that person power over yourself. And the thing that I want to make clear is, in the engaging of that act, thinking, stressing, and worrying about a person, you have to step back and realize, look at the mental space that I'm in. Look at what it's doing to me. Nothing is worth it. No person is worth that, especially a person who will put you in that position. I don't care how attached to that person you are. Think about the situation. Think about what the situation is putting you through, and you're bending over backwards to try to get this person to see your value. And so for my brother, I was like I said, he was taking her on trips, buying her gifts to the point where it looked like he was trying to overcompensate, because him being in that relationship and the girl being his first, I know how that was, or how that is, even though the relationship I had, it kind of went through a similar intensity, but she wasn't my first. Instead of trying to make her feel a certain way about you, you wanted to get back with her so bad, you're not realizing what you need to change about yourself, how you need to look at yourself and reassess yourself. And you're not trying to understand why, you know, why you had fallen out in the first place and what happened, because when a person breaks up with you, they are essentially ending that relationship. There is a space that is being brought to the forefront. That person doesn't want to be with you. They don't want you that close to them. They don't want you in their life in that way. So basically, you're becoming demoted, like they're separating themselves from you. It's easy for a woman, when she no longer feels that attraction to you and no longer sees your value, to no longer care about your existence or even about how you feel. She pretty much dehumanizes you. So it's easy for her to just make you a friend and keep you there because it eases her guilt. So she can contact you and reach out to you at her own leisure and not feel so bad because she's keeping you close. But while you're sitting there on the other end, not realizing it because you've disconnected from yourself and you're so caught up in your need for her, whether it be from sex or just your attachment from having built your relationship with her over the long term, you're undervaluing yourself because you're allowing yourself to be put in a position that ultimately degrades you. And in essence, you are being dethroned from the high position that she once held you in. You're allowing yourself to be illegitimized. You're reducing yourself based on your actions. You're going against your soul and dishonoring your soul when you do that. If a woman doesn't value you as a man, be aware enough of yourself to decide to walk away. I'm not going to entertain it. Like, respect yourself. Understand who you are and set boundaries based on that, and be very specific that if a woman crosses a certain line, I'm done with it. I'm done with it. And practicing semen retention will help you to become stronger and more grounded in yourself, to where you protect your energy and your demeanor is much stronger. So when you speak, people will listen to you. They're going to hear you. They're going to respect you because of the authority that comes with having built your masculinity. Requires an elevation of your mind and for you to stand your ground more. So we get in these relationships and stuff, and then we start to become complacent. And when that happens, you lose your backbone. You start to go against the code. You go against the code. The code is inside of you as a man. The truth is within you as a being. And when you find yourself in a position where you've created a negative image of yourself, you find yourself in a position where you created a negative image of yourself in this woman's mind. You've moved so out of your character, and your choices are repulsive. They are creating a repulsion. That creates the justification for her to treat you like shit. Because you were calling her phone, always texting her, why won't you take me back? Why don't you understand how I feel about you? You shouldn't even have to go that far, especially if you took it upon yourself to show her how you felt. You did things for her. You were there for her when shit hit the fan. You feel what I'm saying? Like with my brother shit, he let his girl at a time borrow his car for a week because she was having car trouble. I'm like, bro, there was nothing else for you to prove. You took her on trips. You took her to concerts. You bought her gifts to show her affection. You were there in critical situations. There's nothing else for you to prove. You should be at peace with that, knowing that you did everything that you could and that you're willing to step away. That's being authentic. If somebody blatantly disrespects you, you have to be able to speak up for yourself and defend yourself and know what you're talking about, and be firm, and don't compromise that for somebody else's love and affection. That is what my channel is about. That's what it's about. Having a low tolerance for the bullshit and being real and raw and being authentic, not being ignorant, not being real ignorant, which is what most people understand real as being, who are of low frequency. But look at how we give ourselves away to relationships and be consumed by a person until we forget who we are. We put their needs above our own. When you as a human being are a part of nature, and self-preservation is the first law of creation. In order for creation to survive, that's the first law. And you must take care of yourself before you can do anything for anybody else. And don't let anybody disrespect you because you are having to step away from an organization, a group of people, to put your needs first, because that is what your soul requires you to do. The soul is where authenticity lies, and that's what my channel is all about. Remembering that we are souls. The physical being emanates from the same realm that the soul does. And I'll be speaking on that more, and I made that statement for a reason, especially when we're talking about my physical being and being a brown person, because that is divine in its own right, and it comes from nature. And this is what I mean by recognizing the game. Love. Salute.